Welcome back. Super excited to be back, and in this lesson we're going to take a look at the actual configuration of everything that we've done so far for Hibernate, and then we'll also take a look at our database as well, because we did create the database in the beginning, but let's take a look at, or we did create the connection of our SQL my PHP admin in the beginning. Let's take a look at how it'll work, right? So let's put things into perspective now. So far what we've done is we've actually created 3 different Java classes. We started off with our student_info.java. Then we created the Claydesk main1.java, and then our Hibernate util class. So student info 1 is actually where we created our first program, right? The objects like roll number, name. Then we created the persistent class to store these objects. So the student info is the persistent class. Then we created the Claydesk main1, which is simply going to store or retrieve objects from the database. We also created the Hibernate util class, which is a helper class, right? As I mentioned earlier. In addition, we created 2 XML files. First is the Hibernate configuration file, and the other one is the mapping file. Okay? And of course, we have our package and our project. Great. So let's take a look at the Hibernate perspective, right? So far we've been working in Java. Okay, so here's our Java perspective. So I'm going to switch to the Hibernate perspective. So let's click on Hibernate just to kind of see what's going on. So let's switch to Hibernate. And all that does is simply gives you the Hibernate configuration console. Okay. So within this, notice automatically it lists our final Hibernate project. So if I expand this, you will see the actual configuration and the student info 1 class with roll number as integer and name as string. And then our session factory. And within this session factory, you will see the roll number and the name. And then of course our databases, right? So the Hibernate DB is our database. The student_info1 table is the one that Hibernate automatically created. Okay? So if I expand this, you will see roll number and name. Excellent. Okay. How do I verify this? Let me switch to my PHP admin, open up my local host. So let's navigate to my browser. And all I have to do is just get to my local host, PHP my admin, locate my DB, which is Hibernate DB, expand this, and we should be able to see student_1 or _info1. And I can of course take a look at the structure and search and insert, export, and so on. So that's the idea. So we have successfully configured our Hibernate environment. Now if I change something, of course it's going to change automatically with the table and take those objects from Java and place them into the actual database. So if I expand this, you will notice I'll see the columns, and I'll also see the indexes as well, so if any. So let's switch back to our Hibernate environment within my IDE, and this is what I'm looking for. So congratulations, you've successfully taken all the steps to configure your Hibernate environment. And I hope you also understand the concepts, because these are important, right? Not just how to do things, you ought to know why we're doing it, what's the purpose, and then what do all these things mean, and that's important. So hope this helps. Let's move to the next lesson.